Okay, so before we hop back into our conversation, just so I remember,
Okay.
I pulled you some oracle cards. We're not going to go over them in the session, but I am going to send you guidebook
Okay.
descriptions and I'm going to send you pictures of them. And then I also asked you
Okay.
for chakras, what kind of crystals would help them with healing and growth. And I built you a crystal grid, so I will send those to you as well, picture. And then I will get the
Okay.
replay to you tomorrow. Okay. So
Perfect.
previously we were talking about needing to heal everyone at incredibly deep levels without being
Mhm.
consciously aware of it, and it is taxing our physical vessel. Okay, so
Very much so.
yes. Okay, so have you in this lifetime, in this incarnation, had a bit of a savior complex? And I say that in the nicest way because a lot of empaths and light workers do too. Of I have to ensure that I heal as many people as I can or help as many people as I can. It is my responsibility to do that, whether spiritually or just with various
Yeah.
people in your life. Okay.
Crappy boyfriends.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yes, I need to save all the babies.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Let me
So
make you better for the next one.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
that is representative of kind of this bigger karmic lesson that you're going through of, hey, it's not my responsibility to heal everyone. I don't have enough time and energy to do that one. I want to do things in this incarnation just for me. That doesn't always involve other
Hmm.
people. And
That
now
would be nice.
yes. And now we've taken it on a bigger scale of I'm going to heal my other timelines, as many as I can potentially find. And so I can release all this karmic stuff that's been built up, but also so that I can propel myself as one of these um, really, really powerful, expansive energy healers. But that karmic lesson is rooted in lack and unworthiness because you don't have to do that to become a powerful energy healer. What it sounds like is when you are getting around people and you're pulling those things deep within their Akasha fields, those negative aspects, those shadow aspects from other incarnations, your perception is too open for what you're able to perceive for people. So if we are like, hey, whatever wants
Okay.
to come through, great. That's when we get things that we don't want to be focusing on. Like I used to do
Okay.
kind of negative entity work too, and like very deep shadow work things with people. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that in this incarnation. I can do that. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. And so I have to speak over myself. I'm not looking for that stuff within other people anymore. But your consciousness, from what I can see, is saying, well, I have that stuff in my Akasha field. So if I help other people with it, then I can clear it out in mine. Those incarnations don't have anything to do with you. Yes, they are
Okay.
you, they are your soul, but it is also, they had their own journeys and experiences. And there's lots of mentors and guides that they can call on in the cosmos. It doesn't just have to be Layne. Okay, just because you can see
All
things
right.
in your Akasha field does not mean that you're always the one that has to heal that stuff. There's lots of different
Okay.
layers to you. I'm going to give you an
Okay.
example. Okay, so
Okay.
I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and there was a guest speaker, and he was talking about some alien things that he had remembered on a different incarnation where they were doing some not so great things to him. And when he was talking about it, I started having a full panic attack. And I
Mm.
just went into fight or flight, and I knew it was trauma from a different incarnation. I could see it, I could feel it, right? And instead of going down those timelines, I said, that would not be healthy for me to clear out in this timeline. I said, I'm going to start catastrophizing and then start studying all these things. And I'm going to go down these rabbit holes. I'm not going to clear that out in this incarnation. That's going to have to be for another timeline of mine. They're calling on me to help them. They're saying like, hey, I'm going to flare up all this trauma in your body so you look at this with me. And I said, I can't do that. I'm holding a boundary with a different incarnation of mine. Just like what happened with you and me when we first got on, and you're like, hey, I see
Yeah.
something in your Akasha field. Can I clear it out?
Yeah.
It's also okay for you to say, no, if
Mhm.
there's an incarnation of mine that is getting triggered right now because they're in somebody else's presence, but I know this doesn't have to do with my incarnation, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
You have,
See, I didn't even realize that it was going that far, because
yes.
okay. I didn't realize it was
Oh, it's deep in people's
interesting.
fields. Yes, but it's also deep in your field. And you just have very keen perception. You are reading people at an incredibly deep
Okay.
level to be able to access some of those things. And just
Mhm.
because you can see them doesn't mean it's from this incarnation. That's what you're heard.
Okay.
Like, oh, you're pulling stuff from sages like way back here from a whole different incarnation so that you can clear your own stuff out when you don't need to be doing that anyway.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you don't have to
I'm so
apologize.
embarrassed.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's great that you
Okay.
have those abilities because when you when we stop focusing on pulling things into our paradigm that we don't want to be focusing on, like negative entities or negative experiences and all these different things, that gift that
Okay.
you have can be an incredible blessing. Okay. We just need to set the parameters of what exactly we're using that gift for. So let's say that you have a
Okay.
session with somebody, okay, and you're just sitting here and you say, okay, whatever comes through, come through. Well, then there's you're going to get blasted with all this stuff because you can see at that depth.
Okay.
Now, if we say these are the
Okay.
specific things that I want to be helping people with, like for me, for example, okay, I love helping people with inner children work, helping people, expand their consciousness with their spiritual gifts, their soul mission, things of that nature. Now, if I just left the channels open, I'd be having all kinds of entities and beings coming through and just whatever, because I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see whatever I want to see. So I have to set the parameters of this is what I'm helping people with in this incarnation. And that
Okay.
can change and fluctuate. It's changed a million times since I've been on my journey, but you have to set this is what I am. This is what I am choosing to see, and this is what I am not choosing to see. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some ways that you can utilize that gift that you have in a more
Okay.
a way that doesn't exhaust you so much.
A little more focused.
Yeah, a little more focused.
Okay.
Because one of the reasons that your physical body might also be shutting down on you here in multitudes of ways is one, if you're doing Akasha work all the time with everybody, that takes so much spiritual energy. And that's also probably why you're having a hard time holding on to weight because you're just burning through it so quickly. Um, Not everybody needs you to read them on that level. You do not need
Yeah.
to be
And I don't
reading
really
people at
want
this
to like it's like when I go to the grocery, it's really not even so much about when I'm reading people because I haven't even been practicing that much lately. Like the spirits or like the lost souls are just lined up at my door. I mean, it's all day, every day.
Yeah.
When I'm at work at the grocery store, it's everywhere I go. They're like, hey, 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 I need help. And most of the time I won't realize that they're there until they've literally attached and then my feelings start changing,
Mhm.
my emotions start changing, and that's how I notice it. But if there was a way that they could get my attention without having to change my emotions and attaching, I mean, they're only there for a short, like maybe a few minutes, and I know that they're there, but it's really draining me. I mean, it
Oh
affects
yeah.
me. It really affects me,
Your
even when I'm
perceivability.
sleeping.
Oh yeah. Your channels are just all the way open 24/7. Like yeah, I like there are times where okay, I could have my channels open constantly and I would be burnt out and exhausted because I'm receiving so much information from so many different places and spaces. And so I have to create
Mm.
office hours. Does that make sense? I
Okay.
have to hold boundaries
Yeah.
and I have to say, if there are beings that are trying to contact me, I am not at quote unquote work right now. I am at the
Okay.
grocery store and I need to do what I need to do, and I am not open for business right now. Like, I'm just not. No. If you want to contact me when I have office hours, whether that's giving sessions or if you want to sit down for an hour and help some lost souls traverse over, right? I'm not open for business 24/7.
Well, I've had to do that. Like I'm done, I'm going to bed, but how do I keep them from attaching to me? I mean, I can ask them to detach and they will, but it's because they know that I'm gonna help them cross over. But there's got to be a way to keep them from attaching and just letting me know that they need help. And I know what you said about setting the intention into your field. You know, like
Yes.
I've even tried the intention of, well, if anything comes into my field, you're automatically redirected to the light. Um, it didn't work, but
Well,
maybe I just need to do it more often.
that's part of that core karmic lesson that we're talking about, of having that kind of savior complex of
Uh-huh.
I can help all of the lost souls. And so I am going to hold my energy field open 24/7, even though I know that that's not good
Mm,
for me, because I can
no.
see them and it makes me sad. And I want to be able to help them, right? But you
It
have to,
does.
right? But you also have to understand you're not the only energy healer on the planet. If they're not going to you, they will go
Yeah.
to somebody else that does have open availability and energy and time to help them. You are not the only one. But if you are sitting here with your energy field consistently open and you're saying, okay, and at the same time, okay, at the same time,
Yeah.
you're saying, like, no, I don't want that, but there is still an energetic opening in your field of, like, I
Well, okay.
do
Yeah.
though. so, so we have to heal the root. We have to heal the root of that, because there's a contradiction in your energy field of, like, no, I know this is not good for me. I don't need to do that. But at the same time, I feel incredibly guilty if I don't.
Yeah.
Right. But that's also probably because there's something running in your energy field. Sorry, there's something in my eye. There's something running in your energy field of, if I don't do it, then they will forever be lost. But that's not true, because there's lots of other energy healers on the planet who do that type
Okay.
of work. I do that work all the time, even
Yeah.
if it's not with client sessions and I see, souls and things like that, but I do it when I have time and energy, because
Okay.
we don't want to become a lost soul from having no energy and no time,
No,
right? And that's how kind of how you've been experiencing life right now. Your central
that's
nervous
exactly what it is.
Yeah, your central nervous
Yes.
system is overloaded.
Hmm.
So your body
I
is,
feel
like,
that.
trying to get you to stop doing this spiritual work that you're doing, because it's seeing it kind of in a negative lens now of, like, we don't feel good when we do this. So we have
Yeah.
to
Well,
set boundaries with our energy field
mhm.
a little bit more. Okay. But go ahead.
Well, it's like I started this because I was constantly having the attachments and constantly having to have them removed. And Patrick was like, well, I think you would make a great shaman. So, why don't you anyway? And so I was like, well, I felt really drawn to it. I was thinking, well, if I can clear myself, maybe I won't constantly need somebody else's help. And it's just kind of just been nonstop ever since. So I guess I will have to put these boundaries up, stick with it.
Yes. Okay. Another thing is attachments is a line of work that I decided that I was not going to participate anymore, and that I was not going to subscribe to. Because if we are subscribing to things can attach to me, then they will. If you
Hmm.
say nothing can attach to me, period, that is not allowed in my fields, then it won't. But we get in our programming, because, one, in the spiritual realms, okay, when we are learning about spirituality, okay, there's a lot of internal programming around attachments, that, how the government and society and all these different things, we can get all this programming that we pick up. Attachments is a type of programming as well. And it's an actual true reality. Like people can get attachments onto them, but that's because they also have this thing that they're subscribing to of like, oh, I can have
Yeah.
all these attachments, right? So that's something that you
Hmm.
have to detach from, is that attachment of having attachments and saying, I'm
Okay.
not doing that work anymore. I will help the spirits inside of my office hours. Nothing attaches to me. My energy field is clear.
Okay.
That's how I read that you were actually reading something further back in my Akasha field, because I was like, we don't subscribe to attachments over here. So I know she's picking up something
Okay.
from a different incarnation of mine that did have an attachment on her.
Okay.
So what comes up for you when I say that?
Well, it's quite, I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm just going to have to implement that.
It takes time and practice. When I stopped doing attachment work, it did take me conscientiously saying, when those thoughts come up, because they're going to come up because it's a program that you're running.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to say, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. No, they cannot attach to me. Nothing can attach in my fields. Okay, for these beings and these
Okay.
entities and the ghosts and all these different things. Okay.
Okay.
And now you have to ask yourself, are attachments to other people, is that something that you want to be doing? Because you don't have to. If you do decide
Yeah.
to do that, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to detach from the attachment
Hmm.
programming within
Right.
yourself. Okay, so
I was just thinking that same thing. Uh-huh.
yes. But there's so
Okay.
many different aspects of shamanism that we're going to talk about a couple of your spiritual gifts here that you could do instead if
Okay.
you want. but,
Yeah,
but
I would love that.
yeah, you don't have to do the attachments. And I'm not saying that attachments aren't real, because you understand, okay, that
Hmm. Yeah.
multiple realities are true.
Sure. Right.
So, yes, there are a lot of people that have these quote unquote attachments on them, and there's healers that help them with those attachments. You don't have to do that though if you don't want to. You don't have
Okay.
to be in that realm if you don't want to do that.
Well, I would definitely be interested to see what else there is for me.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So,
please.
um, if you want to tell me a little bit more about what's going on with your health, if it's something specifically, whatever you're comfortable with, or is it just that you're shot out with your central nervous system, or is it some other
Well,
stuff?
the health issues started right after a lot of trauma. You know, I had a
Hmm.
really abusive relationship that went off and on for like 4 years. I finally got rid of that, and I mean, it was really bad. He tried to kill me a couple of times, and it was just
I'm
like the
sorry.
longer he would come into the house, break into the house, and it was just a lot of violence. And anyway, that ended, and then my brother died, and in between all of this happening, all of this started into my health issues started the end of 2021,
Hmm.
right during COVID, and it was hard to get an appointment. But anyway, it seemed it's like mimicking thyroid. I thought maybe even some diabetes, but every of course when and oh, and hormones are all over the place. But it's it's just severe weight loss, hair loss. I mean, it sounds just like thyroid, but of course when they check my thyroid, everything's fine. I had some severe adrenal fatigue. I knew it was in my nervous system. Um, anyway, and they do test. They're not coming back with anything, and I'm just really frustrated at this time.
Yeah.
Like I have no interest in another Western medicine anymore. Just I would like to see a functional medicine doctor, and I did start one, but it was so costly, and so I couldn't go back. I don't really know what to do.
Well, we're going to talk about it today. Okay, what you can do for
Okay,
that.
all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, um, I do think that the majority of the things that you're experiencing are a combination of, like you said, PTSD and trauma that you had experienced, which you're actively healing.
Hmm.
I think that you have a damaged nervous system, which can be healed, which you are currently healing. I think that because
Okay.
you have so many open channels and you're able to read people on these depths, and you're able to see so many things and hear so many things and perceive them so many things, that it is not allowing your central nervous system to heal in the ways that it needs. And so your body is saying, hey, I don't have enough energy to do this level of spiritual work that we have been doing. Okay. So
Right.
we need to
Right.
recenter what exactly it is that we are going to move forward with within spirituality so we can give our body a break. Okay. So that we can heal that because
That would be lovely.
it's energetic scarring. That's why they're not able to
It's
find,
awful.
yeah, that's why they're
Yeah.
not able to find the physical issues. Okay. Because it's a combination of
Mhm.
just energetic things that have happened. Okay. So when I went into your energy fields, I saw you and you were wrapped up in ivy vines, like the plant. And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
interesting. And I said, what's going on in here? And what your higher self was telling me is that you are a plant channeler. And what that looks like is you are able to, in the ethers, wrap people up, their energy bodies, their chakras, their light bodies, in different types of plants. And you are able to heal them on a quantum level. It's a type of plant Reiki that I have not seen before. And so I was like, ooh, fun. Okay.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
one of the reasons that you have contracted to have these health issues is because you got to go through that in order to be a quantum healer. You have to quantum heal yourself in order to be a quantum healer. Okay. So it just like
Lovely.
yeah, just like with most empaths and light workers, they end up helping people with whatever they have traversed through in this incarnation because that helps them become an expert. It helps them become a mentor and a guide. And so
Mhm.
you are going to learn how, if you want to, you don't have to do this, but if you want
Oh
to,
no, we have to do
yeah,
this.
if you want to pick up this gift, right, which you have in you, but activate and open and expand it,
Okay.
it is going to not only heal you, but it's going to heal a lot of other people. And I heard your energy body say, well, what if I don't want to do this? And I said, you don't have to do that. I said, you don't have to. There's something in your field of like, I don't like being told what to do. And so, okay, that's why she was saying that. And I get it. That's fine.
But I do.
Yeah.
Okay. I do like the, yeah.
Yes. And so I told her, I said, you don't have to do this. I said, it's so funny we were talking about the mirror effect, but what I was explaining to her is I said, if you utilize this gift on other persons, you will have a mirror backed effect and you will heal your own physical body at the same time. It'll amplify and accelerate that because that's how I've um, accelerated in my own growth and journey and gifts and abilities is helping so many people because of the mirror backed effect,
Right.
right? Okay.
Okay. And you
So,
are wonderful.
oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Yes.
So this is what this gift was coming through. Okay, so I saw you. Well, one, we were in the darkness, and I was like, let's get out of the darkness, okay, because this is not helping anybody. So we went outside and we went to this cottage, and it was you and me. And then we there was this table, and they're kind of like a Reiki table would look like. And I
Yeah.
saw you put your physical body on the table and then you wrapped it in all of these different types of plants that you would need. And then your physical vessel was actually receiving this plant healing and it was doing cell regeneration, is what it was doing on this person. Okay. Or you,
Okay.
right? On your physical vessel. Okay. So
Okay.
if you wanted to give sessions to people, we'll talk about how to do this too. But if you want to give sessions to people, that would look very similar as to you putting their actual physical body on some type of like etheric Reiki table, if you will,
Okay.
energetically reading what type of plants that they need for the cell regeneration, calling them through the
Oh boy.
ethers,
Okay.
wrapping them around that, and then utilizing your own energy healing abilities with the plant's energy healing abilities and helping them heal their actual human physical vessel.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So your higher self said some ways that you can get into this gift, okay, is you can study herbology or botany. you need to start building an encyclopedia of plants because every single plant has different healing properties. So we need to be
Okay.
learning about different plants. Okay. And that can be
Okay.
herbs, it can be trees, it can be whatever you want. And you can be the I don't want to call you a guinea pig, but the guinea pig for this. Okay. So what you would do
Yeah. Okay.
is you would find a plant that you want to work with. Let's say dandelions. Okay.
Okay.
So you would go in meditation, take yourself to wherever you want to go. But for the context for this example, to a cottage, we're going in there, we're putting our physical body on this table. We're envisioning that dandelions are being like wrapped around your physical body. You can even have your hands up if you want, because again, this is a form of Reiki, like healing hands. And you are connecting with the energy of that plant. And you can also ask the plant to give you messages, insights, downloads, guidance, and you're doing this energy healing on self, but projected through looking at your physical body and asking the dandelions, what part of my body is this helping me heal?
Okay.
How is this serving me? What knowledge and wisdom can you give me, dandelion plants? And as you go through all these different plants that you're learning about, it is going to supercharge your healing. Okay. It is
That
going
would be
to
wonderful.
prepare. And in healing yourself through this, again, you're building that encyclopedia of dandelions help with this, rosemary helps with this, oak trees help with this, and like all these different things, right? So you don't have to actually have the physical plant with you. You can do this etherically.
Seriously.
Yes. And so this is going to be a matter of learning about a lot of different plants. Okay. And you don't always have to do a ton of research. You could, if you want to research about dandelions, let's say, and you want to see what kind of healing properties they have, great. But honestly, if you go in the ethers and you ask the plant itself while you're doing this healing, it's going to absorb that into your template and you're going to have an internal knowing as well. So yes, you can do the human
Okay.
studying if you want, but you don't necessarily have to
Uh-huh.
do that. But sometimes our human wants that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think I had a timeline that was did medicinal healing, which was also part of a witch wound, and I'm wondering if I could like download some of
Oh,
that
sure.
information from her.
Ask her to come into the cottage with you.
Okay,
Ask her to come
which
in there.
leads me to another issue is because I haven't been able to journey. Like my sight has been, it just went away. So that was one of the things I was going to ask you today is, do you know what happened
You
to
mean your
that? Because
spiritual eyes?
yeah, they're
Okay.
gone.
Well, that's probably because your body is not allowing you to do that type of work. Because if you're reading people and everyone and everything like at these incredibly deep levels and it's overriding your central nervous system that's already trying to heal in the first place, it's like we're not going to go to those
Okay.
depths. We don't
Right.
have the energy for that. So if we, instead of being open channels to everything, if we narrow it down a little bit more and we say, I want to utilize my spiritual eyes to go on a shamanic journey to this cottage so I can work with the plants and work with that different timeline and work with my higher self. And we're going to focus on this. Your spiritual eyes are more likely to click on because your body knows that you're doing this for your own healing. And we're not having all of
Okay.
these potential things activating and triggering us. Okay. Because your
Yeah.
body right now is on autopilot of, I want to see the most traumatic things within other people and myself so I can clear it out because of that savior thing that we talked about.
Why would I do that?
Well, there's lots of different reasons. It might be
Ugh.
you wanted to become this very expansive healer, but that's like a skewed perceptual lens
Mhm.
because you don't have you don't have to have all of the tools and resources to be a fantastic healer. You like when people are they got too many hands and too many things and then they don't become an expert in anything and they just know a little bit about everything like you're spreading your
Mhm.
right. Okay, so instead we can
Yeah,
say
that makes sense.
how about I just focus on a couple things in this incarnation. Okay, instead of trying to do like a million billion different things,
Hmm. That makes
which
total sense.
is probably representative of you just really loving life and wanting to experience as much as you potentially can, of saying like, I want to learn how to do everything and anything. Okay, but you only have so much time and energy in this perceptual lens in this
Mhm.
incarnation, and you're also an infinite being. And so that's probably rooted in some skewed perceptions of like, I only have this limited time in this incarnation, where you could just speak over self and be like, no, I'm going to remember what I did in this incarnation in the next one. Just like right now, I can see the other timelines too. Okay, so one, taking that
Okay.
we're a finite being off the table, okay, and taking the pressure off that we have to learn every modality in this incarnation. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
yes. Okay. So studying with plants, okay, and having more pointed focus and direction for our gifts and setting parameters. We need to set up safety measures for our physical vessel and say, I'm not going to do what I have been doing because that's not helping you heal and you're still in your regeneration phase. Okay.
Mhm.
So, some mentors that you can work with, that timeline that you're talking about, but you can also work with obviously Mother Gaia. Okay. Because plants and
Okay.
trees. Green Tara. Do you know who that is?
I heard you talking about that like in the last day or two.
I
Yeah.
did, yeah. So I was like, oh, Green Tara
Hmm.
through for more people. Okay, so Green Tara, she's a great protector. For one, she can help you with keeping all that stuff at bay. Like
Okay.
all the things that you don't want to be focused on and attached to, you can ask her to help kind of shield you from those things until you get a little bit
Okay.
stronger with shielding for yourself. But Green Tara is also a plant lady. Like she's a protector of Mother Gaia
Okay.
and she loves plants. So she can help you expand your knowledge and wisdom. So if you research about her, that would be really beneficial.
All right.
And I'm going to fix my camera here. Okay. And asking the Fae to support you, like the Fae
They're
Kingdom.
they're usually around. Yeah.
Yeah. You can ask them to come into those sessions with you, either for self or with others
Okay.
with the plants. Ask them to come in. Like there's so many different beings. When I asked them, like, hey, would the Fae be beneficial? They were like, yes, we will help her. They would love to do that
Okay.
with you. So they're very excited. They were very excited about that. Because I was originally asking about fairies, and they're like, no, tell her the Fae Kingdom, because that includes a lot of different beings. Okay.
Okay.
So we need to set up that healing space in an internal realm that we can go back to do this type of work. So cottage, wherever you want it to be. It can be by the ocean. It can be anywhere that you want. Okay. Okay.
So even though I haven't been able to see anything to journey, I can just do it intentionally okay, I remember you said it may click
Needs
back
to be
on
more needs to be more specific because your body,
specific.
what I'm seeing is your body is afraid to do this type of shamanic journey, and it's kind of shut that off because your channels are too open, and it's saying, I don't want to see beings, I don't want to see ghosts, I don't want to see negativity, I don't want to do this anymore. so so if we
One
dare,
time that's all I was seeing,
yes, yes, I
Yeah,
do,
because
I
I was
do.
in such a low place. And every time I would close my eyes, there they were, just right there. And I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
what happened. I
if
think my
we
inner kiddos are pretty traumatized.
yeah, if we're in a low vibrational place in our life and you're also an open channeler and you can see
Uh-huh.
things, well, then you're gonna see the lower frequency, right? And so a reason that you might still be running that attachment programming is because you've seen so many things. So you know that's like a real
Yeah.
reality, right? But you just
Hmm.
need to usurp yourself out of that and be like, I'm done. I'm done with that. We're done. We've done the healing. I don't need that in my realm anymore.
Luckily, it hasn't been an issue. Like once I started stepping into my power and removing my own stuff and removing things off of people, I haven't had any issues with anything negative. It's just been souls asking to cross over. but I will put those boundaries up. But
Yes.
oh, before I forget, the other night I started talking to my inner children finally, like you
Oh,
suggested back in
beautiful. Okay.
October. And
Yeah.
the reason why I said I think they're traumatized is because I heard a younger one say, well, what if there's demons?
Hmm.
That I heard. And so that's what kind of brought that to my attention. I think that may have something to do with the site because I don't feel too scared anymore, but I think that there's that issue there.
Well, if they saw a whole bunch of negative things because you're an open channeler,
Hmm.
obviously they're not going to want to keep channeling those things, right? Because like that's not fun. Okay. So, um,
I can see that.
one, I'm going to say over your inner children really quick. Okay. So demons, that's a lot of like religious programming in the first place. Okay. And just like
Hmm.
with anything in life,
Right.
there's good and bad in things. And
Hmm.
not saying that they need to work with demons or they need to have any type of interactions with them because we do not want to scare them in any type of way. But sometimes
Right.
those demon energetic archetypes can be really great protectors, like big old Rottweilers for you.
Well,
Okay. So they can actually be very,
pretty sure that I have two for guides. I'm pretty
yes.
sure two of them are. Yes.
Yeah, and they can be real sweet, beautiful,
Yeah.
and
Right.
protectors. And if
Hmm.
they want to look at them like these German Shepherds or Rottweilers or however they want to look at them, like if that helps them with that, then
That's
great.
a good point. I had not thought about it, explaining it that way.
Yeah, you can turn them into anything. They can yeah, anything at all. Like sometimes with inner children, different beings and different entities, if you can get that being or that entity to look in a more palatable way for them, it's easier for them to connect with it and not be so scared. Like if you want to make a demon guide look like that character from Monsters Inc., Sully, and like or a big old teddy
I
bear.
heard you say that the other
Oh
day.
yeah, or
Okay.
whatever you want them to look like, right? Make it a fun, silly game.
Hmm.
How can we make that guide look silly? How can we make him look fun? Okay. The
Yeah.
guys are happy to
Okay.
do that. They're happy to do that. They don't want to scare you.
Okay.
Okay. So so
Okay.
if we reset our shamanic journeying in a place and space that our inner children feel good, like if you're taking them to a cottage to go work with plants on your physical body with green tara, like that's not scary.
Right.
Like at the ocean or wherever you
No.
want to
No.
do, let's reset and show them like, hey, this can actually be really fun. Okay. We can bring the fairies. We can bring the
Okay.
unicorns. We can bring whomever, right? That we feel really good with without having this potentiality of just anything coming through, because that's where your parameters have been set of like anyone and everything can just come through. Like we have to know only these things can come through. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
didn't realize I was that open. I had no idea. I just thought that it was just because I'm highly empathic that I'm just feeling what's close by. I had no idea that it was that
Yes. And it's that open because of that soul contract kind of vow to of like, I'm going to clear out as many incarnations as I possibly can
open.
and as much karma as I can. Okay. Not
Stupid,
only with
stupid.
me, but with other people. No, I mean, like, kudos to you for trying to do that. I mean, that's
Uh,
amazing.
I
Right?
don't think that was me. I think that was like another version.
Well, sometimes we'll be coming in with these plans and we're being
Yeah,
overachievers. And our human is like, I don't know what you thought we were going to do in this incarnation, but I'm not
right.
doing that. Okay.
Correction.
Yeah, right. Okay. So,
Yeah.
when it's so funny that you were talking about shamanic journeying because what I wrote down here was when I went deeper into your energy field after I got done with the plant section, I saw this woman and she came forward and she was placing this animal skin like robe, not a creepy animal skin robe, but like
Right, right,
right like back in the day
right.
around
Uh-huh.
somebody, and she was putting her hand on their chest. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? And she said, I'm getting them ready to go on their vision quests. And I said,
Mhm.
oh, beautiful. Okay. So this is a different incarnation of you, and she is a Native American shaman. And people would travel around from all different places and spaces to receive her blessing, and for her to tell them a spirit animal that is going to journey with them and be one of their guides, because she said that the persons that she was working with were also going to be working in the etheric realms. And sometimes people are very scared to get into that work because of demons or negative
She
entities.
said that
Or
specifically.
no, I'm saying that. Just
Okay.
no,
All right.
but that would have been funny. No, no, just people are very trepidatious about getting into this type of work because of these things
Right.
that could come in. And so she said,
Entity.
spirit animals are
Okay.
more safe and tangible for people to start with to get into this type of work, right? Like if you can connect with an etheric animal because you know what the 3D animal looks like, and you start
Yeah.
dabbling a little bit in the ethers, like with a spirit animal, you're more likely to feel safe to do etheric work like later on. And so she was saying that she would give people a spirit animal to work with before they went on their vision quests to open up their gifts in higher consciousness and things like that. And she said, you can do that for people as well.
Okay.
When you are doing these plant healings on persons, you can retrieve one of their power or totem animals and relay that information, and then also share with them why that animal is coming forward and how it is going to help them in this lifetime.
Like
So,
the medicine that, okay.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
So you will be able to work with power animals and totem animals. Power animals are coming in to help with their different chapters of our lives, and then totem animals are coming in as part of our soul. Like these are animals that represent us to our core. Like for me, um,
Okay.
a dog would be my totem. I've always worked with dogs. I had a past incarnation as a wolf, but a porcupine, I used to work with
Uh-huh.
those to help me hold energetic boundaries. They're not part of my kind of core soul.
That's a great idea.
Yes, they're great. They'll walk around you and hold boundaries. Oh, you might be able to utilize that with these different saying, like this porcupine keeps a radius around me and things do not come into my field. Like he's my little watchman. Okay. Unless
That's
I
cool.
unless I am open for business hours, and then he's not there.
Okay.
Okay, so that'll be a tool. But she
Gotcha.
said that you can let's think of like a type of session here. Okay, so if somebody is coming to you and they're saying, "Hey, Layne, I have X, Y, and Z going on with my physical body," and you say,
Okay.
"Okay, I'm going to give you a session. This is just a hypothetical what this could look like." So let's say that y'all are on
Hmm.
Zoom together, and you say, "Okay, go lay down on your bed." And I'm going to put some meditation music on, or they put meditation music on. And for the 30 minutes or hour, however long you're with them, they're listening to the music, they're meditating. You are going into the etheric realms. You're going into your healing space, whatever that looks like. You're putting their physical body on the table, or whatever you want that to be. It doesn't have to be a table, but having them lay on there. And then you can
Okay.
have Green Tara or Mother Gaia or the Fae come in, or your inner children, whoever you want as well. And we are scanning their energy body with those parameters of this is
Yeah.
what they need help with, and specifically cell regeneration, because that's part of your gift. And we are asking the
Okay.
plant kingdom what kind of plants do they need to heal, and at the same time asking a animal to come forward as well to give you messages for them. And then when they get up from their meditation, then we can relay to them like, hey, these are the plants that we worked with for these specific things. You can either get a house plant if you want. That's not going to be applicable every time though, because some of these plants, they can't put an oak tree in their house. Okay.
Right. Okay.
But if there are a little plant, succulents or something that comes through, or like lavender or something,
Right.
right? And then you can also relay the animal messages to them as well. So this is a form of quantum healing, Reiki, and shamanic journeying all together. But in order for you
That's
to
awesome.
get deeper into this gift, you're going to
Mhm.
have more information about spirit animals in the plant kingdom. So that can look like you doing human studying, or you creating like a big list of plants that you want to start working with and animals you want to start working with, and then going into meditation
Okay.
and connecting with them and saying, okay, wolf spirit,
Okay.
what you got for me? What do you help healing? Okay.
Right.
And doing sessions on yourself. So let's say that you pick
Hmm.
10 plants you want to start with. You go into that space, it's going to unlock this gift so fast. So fast.
Okay.
It's gonna be very quick, especially because your channels are so open. Very fast, even with the spirit animals. I researched so many spirit animals, and then I stopped researching them, and I actually just had animals coming in that I never actually researched with my human self, and they would just tell me what they were there for. I did not have to continue studying on that level, or like even with the plants sometimes, like I'm not a plant channeler like you are, but I'll have plants come
Hmm.
in sometimes and they'll just tell me instead of me having to have the human knowledge of it.
I like that idea too.
And you are going to heal your physical body
Yeah.
through doing this type of
Mhm.
work as well. Because you got in to be a quantum healer, you got to have something to quantum heal within yourself, because
Good point.
we can
Okay.
only help people with how deep we've gone in ourselves. So this is just part of your kind of plan here, if that makes sense. Now,
Yes, it does.
these are just two gifts. And this is if you want to go down this route. You don't have to. But this is a lot softer than probably some of the other work that you've been experiencing with other people. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes, it's been a lot.
What questions do you have about
Um,
these?
as of right now, not anything that I can think of. I'm sure I'm going to go back and watch this video more than once and absorb
Okay.
it all. It's been a lot. I mean, it's been awesome, but I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Your higher self does want me to tell you that in diving in deeper into these gifts, this is a lot of etheric work that you're doing. However, it's going to have a big payoff in the 3D realm as well, because you are going to be able to hear plants, animals, and trees actually speaking to you on the 3D plane at the same
Yeah,
time. And so
awesome.
your telepathy gifts, if you want to call it that, are going to be able to really, really vastly expand. And you are going to have this connection with Mother Gaia and nature that is just going to be next level. So there's a payoff on both levels. Okay, etheric and the 3D. And for your physical body. So
Okay,
three. Okay, and four for helping
wonderful.
with their session.
What more can you ask for?
Right. So this is going to really give you some intentional work to do that's a lot
Yeah.
softer than what you intended to do when you soul incarnated here. We just have to continue to not continue to work on, because you could release it today if you want, but we need to continue to look at this savior complex of like, hey, it's my responsibility to heal everyone, including other incarnations and everyone on earth. Okay. I'm no longer going to run that attachment programming. I'm not going to do that work anymore. It is
Okay.
okay if I decide to focus on specific gifts in particular. I don't have to pick up every single tool and resource in this incarnation, because that's
Right.
very limiting. Layne
Mhm.
only has certain perspectives. Okay. Instead of learning all of these tools and resources in this incarnation, you could simply channel them from other incarnations.
Okay.
What you were trying to do is like, let me get everything that I possibly can and pull it through Layne, and it's like overloading your body. And
It
so
is over. Yeah.
Yes, I would really sit with yourself and say, what is it that I want to do here in this incarnation? Like we need to rewrite this old contract. Like what
Mhm.
specifically do I want to do in this incarnation? I don't want or need to do all of the things. What would make Layne happy? Because your multidimensional self is like, let's go 9 bazillion miles per hour. But maybe that's not what Layne wants to do.
That's about how it feels.
Okay.
It's completely taxing and overwhelming. Like it's just so much going on at one time.
Yeah. So what does
Yet
Layne
of it, I'm not
want
even
to do?
aware of what
What
it
does,
is.
what does Layne want to do?
Are you asking me, like literally asking me?
Yes, like what is it
Um,
like if you have all these magical abilities and all these different things, like what is it that you want to be helping people with?
to be honest with you, I don't know, but I enjoy like the idea of doing readings on some level.
Mhm.
I want to do like healing with the land.
Mhm.
Um, been very interested in that.
Well, that makes sense with the
I
plants.
really don't,
Mother Gaia.
but to be honest with you, yeah, I really don't know. I've been in a stuck place for so long,
Mhm.
that I'm just finally starting to come out of, and there's a lot more out there than I really realized, and I had no idea that I actually had all of these gifts. I knew I could see some things, and even that was cut off. I don't know. It's just I really don't know exactly what I want to do. I know money is a big issue, and that keeps me a little overwhelmed. And I think that my mind is not able to really um, be creative because I'm worried about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay. Well,
Hmm.
that's where we need to, this is just a chapter too. Like maybe you become this like super amazing Reiki quantum plant healer lady. Okay.
And
But
I
then,
really like that idea.
yeah, but maybe that shifts and change. Maybe like 2 or 3 years from now that, we do something else, or 5 years from now, whatever, because
Yeah.
you're a multi-passionalite and we don't like doing the same thing forever. But if we can get a little bit of direction of like, hey, just what are the
Hmm.
next steps? Like, we don't have to do 5 or 10 years from now, but like, what do we want to be doing just for this next chapter? Like, what do we want to be focusing on just right now? Right. So, if this is what is like, hey, I would really like to work with plants and animals and heal my body at the same time, just focus on that
Well,
right now.
that's exactly what I'm going to do is start working on this plant healing.
Just do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. And your higher self
that's
is like, hey,
exciting. I'm
yeah, it's
very
gonna be super
excited for
fun.
that.
It's gonna be super fun, and you've got a lot of mentors that want to come forward and help you too, and it's gonna help you reopen your site. Now, your higher self is like, hey, Layne, you don't need to spend 9 months studying this stuff before you start giving sessions to people.
Okay.
Like this is a template that you already have within you. This is a matter of getting the ball rolling of, hey, let's do some sessions on self. Let's learn about a couple plants. Let's learn about a couple animals, and then let's go ahead and start practicing on other people, because you're going to see
Okay.
that it is something that is already inside of you that you just need to unlock. She's saying, don't wait 9 months or a year to start practicing on people. Okay.
Okay. I'm
Because,
glad you said that.
yeah, because when you were talking about the money thing, she was like,
Hmm.
sometimes you trip yourself up and not fully
Hmm.
extending what you're able to do because you're thinking that you have to have more practice than you actually need to do. But she was like, this template's already in you. It's not something new that you're just willy nilly picking up. Like you have that other incarnation,
Okay.
you have this shamanic woman as well. You can channel from these different incarnations, and it will be a great session that you have with other people.
That sounds amazing.
And if you need practice partners, I have people that you can practice with as well. Okay.
Okay. I do.
So it's a little bit easier when it's not just random people and it's like energy healers that you're practicing on that can give you some feedback back. So if you need that as well,
That's right.
I'd be happy to do that, or even
Hmm.
you can do a session on me and I will give you
Hey,
feedback.
that would be great too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Um, hold on, your higher self is saying something. Okay. Now, I don't really like to give timelines on things because there's a lot of variables with that, and it's only telling you from the time and space right now. And if you do the things that your higher self is saying, so take that with a grain of salt. But she's
Okay.
saying that 4 or 5 months from now, that this is going to be a very lucrative thing for you.
Really?
if
How
we if we
exciting.
put in the time and energy to
Okay.
invest in self and learn these things and keep doing that, and then go ahead and start practicing with people, like, don't be waiting 4 or 5 months and then expect it to be. She's like, let's get the ball rolling and start practicing on people and doing these things.
She already knows.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So again, timelines are wonky because that's only if you do the things that your higher self is saying.
Things
Okay.
you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What was your biggest takeaway today?
I don't think there was one, just there was not just one thing. I was really, really surprised for you to inform me of the plant cellular healing. That's shocking. Because everything kind of stays I feel like I spend more time with on the dead end of things than, or with the lost souls. I wasn't expecting you to tell me any of that. So that's exciting. And putting up my boundaries and yeah, putting up my boundaries.
Yeah. Just because you can do
Yeah,
something doesn't mean that you have to do it or that you need to do it. Just because you can help lost souls, if that doesn't bring you joy, let somebody else do that brings them joy. Does that
mhm.
make sense? Because there's lots of people that makes them
It
so
does.
incredibly happy and fulfilled to do that. But if it's something that is taxing to you, let those souls go to a different energy healer that they love doing that type of work, and you go do your plant work, because that is just as helpful. Just as helpful. We need to be doing things that bring us joy, because that is the ultimate gift for that other person or that soul. Like, if we are happy and joyful and feeling blessed to be able to help somebody with something that brings them joy, brings us joy, our energy healing abilities are amplified a million folds. But if we're doing things that bring us down and tax us, where we could just hand that off to somebody who
Mhm.
gets the joy from that, like, let them go do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy would be nice. That's something I've been
Yeah.
lacking. Um,
Yeah. Just tell them, like, hey, I'm not doing that
and
work
thank you
anymore,
so much.
but I am going to send my well wishes that you connect with the healer that you need. And that's okay. Okay.
Even the cats and the dogs are out there by the door. Like I could see them on the camera last night. I mean, you can just see them. There's like 40 or 50 of them out there. So I might keep up with them. But yeah, I don't mind handing that over.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just time to do different work.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you something before I forget, because your higher self's like,
Okay.
tell. Okay, so plants
Okay.
need three things. Generally, they need a lot more than this, but generally, they need sunlight, water, and ground, like dirt to live in, right? Okay. So your
Okay.
higher self is
Right.
like, you need to treat your human vessel in the same capacity. Your human needs sunlight, it needs fresh air.
Mm.
You need to drink a lot of water, because you are an open channeler, and the things are not flowing through if we're not drinking enough water. And we need to be doing everything that we can to create safety and stillness with our central nervous system. That's the grounding part.
Okay.
Okay. And the plants are going to teach you that on
Okay.
a deeper level as well. Okay. Okay.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to send you your oracle cards and then your crystal grid, and then I'll send you the replay. Remember to look up Green Tara and to ask Mother Gaia
I
to
will.
help you as well, and the Fae spirits. And then if anything else comes up,
Okay.
just let me know.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm so excited for you and your new journey with the plants
Mhm.
and
I
animals.
am too. I'm going to start
Yes.
working on that tonight.
Okay, awesome. And I'll send you some
Okay.
videos on shamanic journeying that might help you reawaken that. Just remember to set the parameters when you're
Okay.
listening to this. I'm only utilizing this for my plants and animals gift right now, or speaking with my inner
All
children.
right.
That's a type of shamanic
Yeah.
journey. But,
Okay.
okay.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it is. It is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you're going back into different timelines.
Oh, actually, can I ask you one thing before we can go? So at night, I always meditate before I go to sleep. And
Mhm.
I'll kind of you kind of sometimes I'll meditate until I almost fall asleep or try to fall asleep, or whatnot. And it's like a lot of nights I'm not waking off, and 2 or 3 hours will have gone by, and I can't shut it off. And it's like there's conversations going on, and I might remember. Like sometimes I'm a part of the conversations, and sometimes I'm observing them. Um, and sometimes I can remember bits and snips, or sometimes I only hear like the little bit before I come out of it.
Mhm.
How do I shut that off, and what is it?
Are you talking about, do you mean that when you're sleeping that you
I'm
are
trying to
having, okay, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, okay. So when we are in that like theta state going down into like gamma, where we're getting like very deep into our
mhm.
subconscious, or we're starting to astral project, right? Because you have so many
Yeah,
open channels and you're just like anything and everything can come through. Okay. And so your energy body is even more open at that point when you're in theta and gamma. And so you're just having even more stuff attracted to you. So it may not be what's the word your higher self is saying? It may not be beneficial for you to meditate before bedtime until you get a better handle on your channels, because you're
okay.
opening your field way up before you go to sleep. And just all of
Okay.
these things from different frequencies and dimensions and the astral fields and all this stuff. Is there a different time that we can meditate? Or are we meditating on our dreams and our goals and our visions? We could do that instead. We could be meditating
Okay.
on what it is that we're trying to manifest. We don't have to just be like an open receiver. We can also intentionally set parameters of what we're meditating on. So you could say, okay, well, I am
Okay.
going to meditate before bed, but I'm going to focus on my inner children and taking them on these fun journeys before bed. I'm going to meditate on my
Okay.
manifestations. I'm going to meditate on the magic that I want to see in the new earth paradigm. I'm going to meditate on self love. We got to pick something specifically because your channels are
Okay.
just this wide open net that are sucking everything that it can in. And then your subconscious is like running, 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 running while you're sleeping. So let's
That's it. That's what it feels like.
narrow it down. Okay. And say, I'm going to focus on, because if you focus on your manifestations or going on fun journeys with your inner children before you go to bed, or just your goals that you have, when you wake up the next day, that's what your subconscious is going to be focused on. We don't need to be focused on channeling stuff at bedtime. We need to be sleeping.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, probably because you're astral traveling while you sleep and you're not actually in your
I
physical
did that last
body.
night.
Yeah.
I set the intention before I went to bed because so many of your videos, I have taken so much from all of these videos you've been, the Akashic
Yay.
alignments.
Okay.
But I set the intention last night that I would not astral travel, and I did not feel nearly as tired this morning.
That is
So that
amazing.
was good.
Love that. Keep on saying that to
Mhm.
yourself every evening. I'm not astral traveling, but I'm also at the same time not an open channel before bed either. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to do PTSD and trauma work before bed up in my subconscious. What I'm going to do is be more forward thinking, and I'm going to take my inner children on fun adventures like a pirate, whatever. I'm going to take them to the ocean of abundance. We're going to go check out mermaids, or I'm going to
Mm.
focus on my plant healing abilities. I'm going to focus on my animal healing abilities and ask the plants and animals to come in right before I go to bed. Parameters. I will stay in my physical body. I will not astral travel. And I'm only going to focus on
Yeah.
positive things before bed and specific positive things.
Gotcha.
Yes, because your central nervous system needs to heal. You don't need to be doing astral traveling until your central nervous system's more healed.
Agreed.
Okay. That you can do that later.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I heard you say that.
Yeah. And remember, you can always turn it back on at any time. Like I had a session with
Okay.
my friend Kimberly and I was like, oh my God, it's been like 2 years since I turned my astral traveling things on at nighttime. I was like, I completely forgot about that. And so yeah. And remember
Okay.
your
All right.
porcupine when you're in
The
public.
porcupine.
Okay. Ask
Okay.
him to
All right.
set a parameter. Okay. Okay. All right.
All
Well, I hope
right.
you have a very magical and
Thank you so
restful
much.
evening.
You as well.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'll
All
talk to you
right.
next time. Okay.
I'll see. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.